Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Hyperion Cup Checkpoint. I am Oakley today, joined with Lord Ethan and Xenon. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to get into these games again and get into the last week of the regular season before we get into playoffs.
Absolutely, we are here for
I'm
the
doing
last
pretty
week.
good as well. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to talk about how I'm doing.
yeah, we're all excited.
I'm pretty eager to kind of recap how things have been going so far, and as well, set some expectations for what we can see for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we did say, this is the last week of Split 2, and then next week we'll be going into quarterfinals with the top 8 teams. So, let's go ahead and kick it off by recapping last week. Our first game we're going to be covering was Paradise Aegis taking on Voltage, and Paradise Aegis came out with the 3-0 in this one. Some interesting things to note. We had our Hog one trick friend Purple come back, but he wasn't playing Hog, he was playing Diva for a map, and he played, I think, either Winston or Wrecking Ball on Busan. And then we had some sleeper double shield comps come out, and I don't think anyone likes those. But we did see Paradise Aegis continue their run of form um, with a strong 2-0 on Busan, the DPS, Locknack, and Brickwall trading some really good blows with the Voltage DPS on Junkertown, and got down to the very end on their defense, and they were able to just cruise it in on their attack, Paradise Aegis. And then we ended up going to King's Row for our final map. Voltage ended up moving Cactus, I believe, over to the Diva. He had a really good showing. He ate a couple ultimates on their Streets phase defense. But in the end, the teamwork from Paradise Aegis and just proved to be a little bit too strong for the guys over on Voltage. Coming into this week, Voltage is in a must-win situation where they have to beat not Paradise Aegis because they just played them, Frost Surge, the number 1 team, to guarantee their
Oh man.
place in playoffs. So it'll be a tough road to climb, but one that I'm sure they are ready for. Um, Paradise Aegis, they take on Phoenix at the same time. So both of these games, Voltage versus Frost Surge and Paradise Aegis versus Phoenix, will be going on tomorrow, and we hope to bring you some action from both of those. Moving on to our next game, we had Grav 9 versus Danger Close in what could be the biggest upset of the tournament so far. Ethan, take it away.
Yeah, this was a pretty fun one to watch. Some pretty interesting strategies that Grav9 employed to secure the win against Danger Close, who is they're higher seeded, but honestly, this series made it so difficult to tell which team really had the advantage over the other. It was an important game to win as well because it means that Grav9 gets that extra map win. And Danger Close gets that extra map 1. It makes them actually equal currently in the standings if you're not looking at map differential on top of that. So for Grav9 to take this, where looking at this series, just on paper, they're looking to be the less favored matchup or less favored team in the matchup. It was really neat. To see the 2-1 on Kings Row is always really interesting as well. We're so used to watching that payload move all the way to the end, but Gibraltar, that one was a stretch. Busan also going similarly all the way. Squanchy, I mean, just absolutely popped off, and Ford F-150 as well is just absolutely insane. So you're beginning to see these teams adapt to each other, and it's almost most of the time it's really observable in the DPS lineup and the strategies that they employ in the target focus and the assistance that they're getting from the supports. You can see Kotori there with 15.8k healing done on Watchpoint Gibraltar. A game that lasts as long as a 3-2 there, you're going to have a lot of healing, but I mean that is an insane amount of uptime. It was a fun series to watch.
Yep. Xenon, do you have anything you'd like to add on this one?
Absolutely. I think um, overall, I think Straight God put out an amazing performance, given that it was a ringer that kind of came out of nowhere. But again, I think it can be summed up to Kotori and being able to keep the rest of the team alive throughout these team fights. And I think honestly, when it's this close, map to map. I think the supports really determine what happens and who comes out on top.
Yeah, the core of Grav 9, if anyone has been paying attention, Katori, Valenzo, Squanchy, they've been putting in some really strong performances the past couple of weeks, and it shows that they've been able to take out a good team like Danger Close and put themselves in a position for top 4 this week. I believe if they win, they might be in the top 4. There are some crazy tiebreaker scenarios that can happen. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but I believe that one of like the most straightforward paths they have to being in the top 4 is if they just beat Tempest Typhoon, which will happen maybe in an hour. The game does kick off at 8. I can't tell the future, so that's why I'm going to leave it as a maybe they win. Who knows? Come stick around and find out. And Danger Close, they will be taking on Kaiji Core Clover tonight, coming off of their bye week at 9 p.m. And if we do have time, we may be able to cover it. Otherwise, I might just find JB Rocks on Twitch and host him because he streams all the Kaiji Core games. So, with that being said, we can move on over to another Game 5 thriller for the folks over on Frost Nova. We had Phoenix versus Frost Nova. Xenon, take it away.
Frost Nova is just so good at producing a series that has your attention the entire time, and I can't help but root for them throughout. Definitely a bit of a underdog story on their part. They keep putting up these strong individual performances, but over time it seems Phoenix kind of was able to eke out a small advantage on Hanamura and carry that momentum through to Oasis. But again, I've been saying it since the beginning. I think Frost Nova has a lot of potential, and I think there's just a few more things they need to polish, a few more advantages to keep in their heads, and um, I think they'll be a great team if we see them in playoffs. Phoenix, on the other hand, was the expected winner of this, and a little bit rocky through Busan and Kings Row, but they were able to, regather their strength, as you will, rebuild their mental, whatever they needed to do, and carry on through with their mid-table shenanigans.
Yeah, the DPS on Phoenix, as well as the supports, like they're all just so synergized. They've been a team for I think 3 years now, and it really shows with their core. They're able to just trust each other very well, and when it counts in the clutch, they show up. They've always had a good showing this split on Junkertown, and on Hanamura, like you said, they were able to clutch it out, keeping Frost Nova out of the objective in OT, which is always something you kind of try to root for or strive for, I guess. And then Oasis taking what most people, I guess, would think is Frost Nova's preferred control map, considering they played Tempest Typhoon a few weeks ago really strong on that map and took them pretty far. To take a map that's your opponent's probably better maps, I guess you could say, to take it off of them and not even allow them to get around on you, especially in a game tie where you're all fatigued and probably just want it to be over with, it shows that they've got a good fortitude and mental about their team Phoenix that hopefully we get to see moving forward tomorrow and in the playoffs.
I will be pretty excited to, at the parallel narratives that are forming here heading into playoffs for Frost Nova and Voltage both. Each team really, more so for Voltage needing to, but, for Frost Nova, it's not really a different position. You still really feel the drive to get these wins. A 3-2 against Phoenix, I feel like, is a step, towards that direction. We just need to see it brought all the way home from these two teams in particular, Voltage and Frost Nova, in the upcoming games. Very excited to see those storylines unfold.
Yeah, and going back to that point about Voltage and Frost Nova has a bye this week. They their playoff opportunities all rest in the hands of other teams.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And the other
That's
team being
Voltage.
Frost
harrowing.
Surge.
Voltage has their fate in their hands, per se. So everything kind of comes down to that Voltage Frost Surge game.
Yep. And,
David versus Goliath.
Yep. And before we get into our match of the week, we do have a recap video, so we'll go ahead and let that roll, and we'll be right back after that. So stick around.
Oh, but it gets traded back onto Nodlin as well as gets the DMEC as well. Still though, once again, Scarrow just running rampant with these shotguns.
They're gonna have to pull it off here.
Oh, that's a huge EMP. They're gonna find 5 there, but Winter trades that one out. It doesn't matter right now for them. Z in the back line uses the Death Blossom, finds Scarrow, looks for another, does find 2. The self-destruct was not enough to deter this Reaper, as Tempest Typhoon will be able to flip the point over just before it hits 99%. And a couple of balls as well as a grenade tossed over there. But look at that, Dr. Brandon gonna be falling down as soon as they go up in the air, and just like that, the supports are down right now. As soon as I say that, Don Super is gonna be rallying, and suddenly you are unkillable, even up against that tactical visor just like that. Scarrow trying to keep alive here. Just in the back line does have gets stunned out of it. That's absolutely massive, shatters the entire team, hits the floor, and just like that, they're gonna follow up and let the bodies hit the floor as Tempest Typhoon roll over the rest of Frost Surge. Those ultimates.
Yeah, and this is a long dagger.
Wow. He gets the kill! Dude!
How's he get away with that?
Wizards are going to be coming out as well to match, and looks like Frost Surge are going to be more than comfortable here. Nodlin giving Yikes a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, but Panda Bear has to back off. Patricia, the EMP comes out, only finds 3, but it might be enough. Kreia going to be using the Molten Core, a lot of it getting eaten up. But now a Supercharge is going to be online for Yikes here. Frost Surge, though, do have a Soundbaiter to keep them alive as Dawn Super falls down to the self-destruction from Winter. Point right now is going to be able to get back into the mech somehow, but still, all the ultimates are online. There's no chance that right now Tempest Typhoon are going to be able to stabilize here as Frost Surge burn down that overtime bar, and they will be winning this series. Frost Surge still undefeated.
And there you have it. We had our match of the week, Tempest Typhoon versus Frost Surge, and Frost Surge once again continuing their run of dominance, some would say. Taking the 3-1 victory. Our MVP of the match was Scarrow, and in the beginning of the series, Frost Surge was pretty much in control. They took a 2-0 on Busan. After that is where things got really interesting, and we head into these crazy overtime situations where the fight is completely lost. Someone comes back on a stall hero. Everyone comes back on a stall hero. They end up winning the fight. And it's the most ping pong, back and forth Overwatch, maybe of the tournament so far. And then we end up going to King's Row. More of the same back and forth craziness Overwatch. And then go into Volskaya Industries. And for the second time, Tempest Typhoon has been full held on Volskaya Industries. I'm not entirely sure why they keep taking us back there.
Unlucky.
But it doesn't seem to work out in their favor. But this series, we had some crazy numbers coming out from everyone. We had Cabadozer putting up crazy numbers on the Flex support on Busan. Yikes doing their best sailboat impression on Ryan and Orisa on Route 66 with almost 8 minutes of objective time. Antagonize going crazy on the Flex DPS heroes as well. And in the end, it was just Frost Surge able to take away the 3-1 victory.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Xenon. Sorry.
If I could just deliver a small hint to Tempest Typhoon, if you're having trouble on the Volskaya, we there is one more 2CP map that I don't think any team has yet picked, Ethan.
I would love to see this this extra map that is in that pool played.
It's never been picked.
We could call it a rare specimen, if you
Yeah,
will. Or rather, that rare specimens are
it's
fostered in this map.
It's really far out.
It's out of
And
this
as
world,
far
some would say.
as far as I'm concerned, that would be the first time that map would be played in a Overwatch competitive tournament.
Some of
Yeah.
these matches they hit really heavy. If you're looking to reduce a little bit of weight, the gravity of these matches, heading to this particular match might be or map might be not a bad idea.
Yeah, basically, Tempest, if you're in the chat, pick Horizon. You could be the first team that ever runs Echo in a competitive Overwatch tournament. Think about it. You could have that title. I won't give you a role in the server, but you could have that, little asterisk by your name. You wear it like a gold star. Pick Horizon.
Horizon.
Horizon
It's pretty
Lunar
funny.
Colony.
I feel like this. I feel like this particular series is kind of a demonstration to us. A lot of these teams they enter the tournament. Whether they're new or whether they've had a certain core for however long. You'll enter the tournament and you might be super aggressive at first, or you might be a little more reserved as a team and be like, okay, what strategies are they going to do? And then as the tournament progresses, each team is learning how the other plays and is getting more and more aggressive and more and more risk taking, and that really I feel like this series, Tempest, Typhoon, and Frost Surge, really culminated in that. I'm hoping to see a lot of that same competitive, aggressive energy heading into the next couple of games into the playoffs. I think that now that we've figured out each other's secrets, our strategies, our win conditions, I think now's the time to bring it and make every series look like this one. This is pinnacle Overwatch.
Or they can just take us to the moon. I mean, that's kind of just the cop.
They could do that.
Here, right?
Yeah.
I think we all want to see Horizon Lunar Colony. We can add it to our highlight reel. But yeah, Tempest Typhoon, they'll be taking on Grav 9 here in roughly 40 minutes, still on this channel. And then we'll have Frost Surge versus Voltage tomorrow night. And that will seal the fate of Voltage and Frost Nova, Frost Surge's sister team, in the tournament. So let's go ahead and look at the standings for this week. Going into it, we have Frost Surge, Paradise Aegis, Danger Close, and Phoenix basically staying within the top 4. They've been around and about for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I would say, as the top 4 in the Hyperion Open Cup thus far. And then following them, they've got Grav 9, Tempest Typhoon, Kaiju Core Clover, Voltage, and Frost Nova, who are on a bye this week. So their fate and Voltage are kind of intertwined with each other. And like we said earlier in the beginning of the show, the top 8 are going to be in the quarterfinals for playoffs. So the 8th and 9th seed are 2 teams to look out for, as well as all the teams that are between 4th and 7th, because any one of them can end up in that 4th seed that doesn't have to be chosen by the top 4 in playoffs. So how this will work, we're still working out on the logistics, but we'll have a selection show either Sunday or Monday, and the top 4 teams will be picking their representatives opponent from the 5th through 8th seeds, and then we will proceed with the normal single elim bracket for the rest of the playoffs, which will be every weekend until the finals on the 27th of March. So still plenty of action left to come here in the Hyperion Open Cup. You guys have any thing you want to add?
Just to say, you say that there's still plenty of action. That's definitely from the perspective of those of us who are watching. There's still a long way to go for these players. I'm pretty excited to see. Again, to see the narratives really unfold, but now we're past the point of backing down, of changing strategies. It's time to bring it from all of these teams. Like I said, still a long way to go. I'd hate to see any of these squads burn out.
Yeah, we've definitely come a long way since January when all this started. I can't wait to see how it all sorts itself out now that we go into postseason here.
Yep. And recapping once again our matches for this weekend, we do have Grav 9 and Tempest kicking it off tonight, with Kaiju Core Clover and Danger Close following roughly an hour after that. We have Phoenix and Paradise Aegis and Voltage and Frost Surge both happening tomorrow. So those are all key games to watch out for if you're a fan of the top teams or the bottom teams. It'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out with all the tiebreaker scenarios that can happen tonight and tomorrow going into next week quarterfinal playoffs. So yeah, you guys have anything you want to add?
I didn't, you know, I don't really have any remarks actually. Really, just yeah, I've said my piece. I'm pretty excited to see how these teams continue to evolve heading into the weeks that really matter.
Yeah, me too. Same thing here.
Yep. Well, that'll be it for us here on the Hyperion Checkpoint. I've been Oakley, joined in the booth with Lord, the Ethan, and Xenon. Do you guys have any final parting words that you'd like to say?
Pick Horizon.
Pick Horizon,
Pick Horizon.
please. I'd
We
love to
didn't
watch
put Paris
Horizon
on the map
Lunacomi.
for a reason.
Yeah, but pick Horizon. It's already been reworked once. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
Pick Horizon.
Yeah, we won't be able to see it in Overwatch 2. And who knows when
After
that'll
all,
come
you
out, so yeah, totally.
remember, you voted for it too.
Yep. So yeah, that'll be it for us here on the desk. And before our picks get a little bit too spicy, we'll throw the outro. So we'll see y'all back here maybe in 40 minutes or so for Grav 9 versus Tempest Typhoon. But until then, we'll see you later.
Bye.